Hi everyone. In this video, I will be responding to some fan mail. So it will be one of my Q&A videos. I've been slightly busy, so I'm behind on my release schedule. You may notice there's a new trophy up there. Um, so I've been busy doing that. I've been busy going to tournaments, and so that has taken something out of my release schedule here. But today I will answer two mails that came to me, and the first one was from David. So let's go and see what he writes. And this was sort of, I had reviewed David's army and given him feedback, and he applied it, and it was bad. It was really bad. Right. So, David writes, I think for morale's sake, a video explaining that sometimes dice rolls is going to determine the game would be good. I agree that sometimes dice rolls do determine the game. At my recent tournament at World Open War, I had one game that was determined by a lucky roll from my opponent where an artillery bombardment scattered and killed 3 of my units. It does happen, but I will always argue that what we are all about on this channel here is skill and risk management. So sometimes the dice will be way out of whack, and that does happen. But most of the time, on average, good players, skillful players with okay lists win games. I had a badass army, and I know it was badass because I applied everything that could be applied based on your videos for a German army. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just, pulling down the meta. I can see what's good. I can see how it's applied. Whether or not you applied it with the tactical skill and in the right way, I can't tell. So you may have made mistakes. I know the dice raped you. They really did. Just look down here. I literally could not get a single kill. The rolls were so bad that you couldn't make it up. Literally every possible bad outcome. I had 17 order dice in my favor, 12 in the opponent's. Firepower, good troops, and support. I couldn't roll a damn kill to damage it. The most deflating game ever. The opponent's Soviets. I failed to kill his tank 3 times. 3 times on 3 successful hits, failed to kill his armored car on 3 successful hits, and my flamethrower ran out after missing at point blank. So everything went wrong. My argument here is that on average, it won't go wrong. And I also argue that we can't actually learn, we can't actually grow and increase our skills based on games where we feel like it was the dice that raped us, right? We need games where we can say to ourselves, so what did I do? Could I have done something different? Would that have been better? Those questions help us when we grow. So and sometimes it does happen. I'll argue not quite as often as people think. I think more people are blaming dice for their mistakes than is healthy. But it does happen, and it sounds like you really had atrocious luck. I know people who have actually thrown out their dice because of one game and gotten a new set of dice. So yeah, that happens. My opponent's artillery observer missed horribly on 3 units, but hit perfectly on 2 others. Yeah. It is as if I didn't make the sacrifice to the tabletop gods before playing. You should always do that. You should always sacrifice to the tabletop gods. They are vindictive bastards, and they will come and get you if you don't do it. So, David, I am sorry to hear it, but have a few more games and see how you do and how you get on once the dice are not massively against you. Thank you so much for the feedback, David. And then on to Mats. Matt here writes from Holland. He writes compliments to your videos, insights and thoughts. Great source of inspiration. Thank you. I know that Danes don't like to be patted on the back, yet you deserve it. Okay. Yeah, we don't. We really don't. I bloody hate it, but I'll take it. Now, on to business. That's what I like. I'm an avid military history buff. Do a lot of research for museums, archives, and clients like broadcasting companies. Like it. I like it a lot. I also love to play war games. Perfect combination. At our Games Club Valhalla, we have seriously started Bold Action. Nice! Welcome! Remember though that Bold Action is not a historical game. Warlord Games have several times stated that it's Hollywood Bold Action. Uh, it's Hollywood's World War II. It's not a matter of refighting historical games at all. So it's what you see in the movies. No need to say that I love to research your own forces. I guess you would. Uniforms, equipment, markings, orders of battle, all that. But then, when I put my perfectly painted, meticulously researched, historically accurate force on the table, I feel, yeah, your historically accurate forces may be the problem. Because people who, what we call history buffs or rivet counters, um, while I think they're a massive benefit to the hobby, they are, because you focus on other things than playing it as a game, um, such people, and it sounds like you're one of them, will quite often fail, and they feel like it's the list only, but I'm not sure it is. But the lists will typically not be that good, because they make sacrifices, they take units that are not necessarily good because they're historically correct. Um, so you sacrifice some of the power you could put in to your army, um, for historical reasons. Now, that can be one thing about why you fail. The other thing could be simple skill level. Like I have seen historical players do really well at tournaments, with historical lists as well. Um, but typically, the players, the power players, the competitive players, players like me, we won't care that much about the history. Um, we'll view it as fluff, like 40k fluff. Um, but but we will look at the game first, and we will ask ourselves the questions: Why did I fail? What happened? Are my units okay? Do I need other units? So that is one of the things that I think happens here. So Matt writes on, I struggle against historically accurate, historically ridiculous. I love that term. Ridiculous mass DAK tanks, barbecue lovers, fanatical hordes, and the like. Of course you would. Of course you would, because that is army builds that are focused solely on playing the game as a game. And players who do that will typically also be competitive players who are actually better at playing the game than you are. So, and I'm not saying that they are. I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know the players you face. So I can't say if that's the problem. But it could be that they simply more skilled and that they have more competitive armies. So if I can't beat them, can I join them? In short, dear Bo, could you give me advice on how to create historically accurate DAK lists, which is semi-competitive as well? Yes, I can do that. Um, and I have actually made videos where I build competitive DAK. Link is in the description. Um, but I think the basic of any competitive DAK army would be Schützen squads with a free LMG. Don't take double LMGs because then you're just spending extra points. You need the points for something else. But one LMG per squad. Minimum size, so small units. Think of them as your fire teams, your German fire teams. Like it's a platoon. They've split up into fire teams. They pulled out all the MG42s and are running them up to the front and sitting down. Schützen. That's it. Take as many of them as you can get. Now, also, if you can take a German LMG team, that is brilliant as well. MG42s, brilliant. Works really well. medium mortar, light haubitz, take a 250/9 armored car if you want, or a Panzer III. I would take the DAK version, the F, I think, which was actually in the desert. And that is a good basis for an army, a competitive dark army. That's where I would start, and I would build it. If you're running theater platoons, I would build it as the dark light division. Can't remember the exact name, but there is a light division, right? That works. Is it massively competitive? Ish. It's good. It's not the best. So it's medium competitive. One of the things it does lack is anti-tank capability, because there's no Panzerfausts in the desert, right? So dark lists struggle in that regard with lack of Panzerfausts. Um, don't buy yourself an anti-tank gun for that. Just rely on a decent tank, a decent armored car, um, preferably with something that can pin down all the darker tanks that you're going to face. So a light AT gun or an autocannon. That's why I say the 250/9 is brilliant. And maybe, I don't know, the Hobbits use that on ambush as well. And then play the same army for a while, because you'll get better at it. If you ask yourself the questions: did I deploy right? Did I move right? Was there something where I should have moved one unit instead of another? Was I too aggressive? Did I push up too far? Um, what mistakes did I make? Ask yourselves those questions, and you should do better. Um, and go and watch my video where I built a competitive dark list. Right. Mats and David, thank you so much for the emails. That was it from me today, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.